What episode number is this?
God, I don't even know. I think it's 11. Let me check.
Episode 11.
I believe it's 11. Let me make sure. Yes.
Nice.
So it's episode 11 of the 9 to 5 Elon podcast, which is a podcast about Tesla stuff, Elon Musk stuff, sometimes Northeast Ohio fast food companies.
Sometimes Bernie.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be a lot more about Bernie based on these most recent polling results.
Yeah.
And even today, based on Elon's own memes.
It's about how Bernie will affect Elon.
I think the Green New Deal is something that a podcast about alternative energy should be focused on.
I agree with that.
And if there aren't many candidates that have the guts to pass such a deal, we should probably focus on the ones that are willing to do something about climate change. We have one less because Yang dropped out. So there's one less person who understood the future of America that's gone. Did
I tell you that the CEO of Clean Choice Energy follows me on Twitter now? Follows us on Twitter, I should say.
Yes, you did.
That was exciting.
Cool. Because you wrote how you saved money?
Save money and it's way better.
What was more exciting, when Swenson's followed you or when the CEO of Clean Choice followed you?
Definitely when Swenson's followed me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You followed me too.
Wait, what?
The CEO of Clean Choice followed you?
Swenson's.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously. We
were discussing the new fries.
Yeah, when I sent that breaking news tweet out, I added like everyone I knew from Northeast Ohio, and Swenson's like followed everybody.
Yeah, that's great.
I think David got followed that day. I wouldn't be surprised if Mazen got followed.
I feel like such an influencer.
Yeah.
I broke 400 followers as well. We also broke 400 followers.
Congratulations. I have broken
something.
I've broken 130 Byte followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
And my loops have been looped over 10,000 times.
I saw that. You posted that. It made me laugh.
I'm super famous now on Byte.
Did Vine used to count your loops?
Yes, but not. Okay. It didn't have the ranking system that Byte does. Byte really seems to have gamified stuff with that star system, and it kind of reminds me of like Halo. you get X amount of likes or X amount of this. No, you're on to the next level. Or I guess for people who play bad games, it's more like a Call of Duty ranking system.
Yep.
We want to jump into some general news.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Check out this here video. Adam pointed out that this is old. I don't really care. It's cool. This is from a comet.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the surface of comet 67P Churyumov Gerasimenko or something. And credit to that guy.
It is. It is super old. I'm glad you're sharing it though.
Our buddy A10 Pilot from the chat, he says absolutely amazing. So.
Oh, he's from Chatty? I didn't know that.
Yeah, A10 Pilot is from Chatty.
I didn't even know that. Has he been engaging
with you on Twitter?
What?
Has he been engaging with you on Twitter?
No, but we've engaged in the past. I did not know who it was.
Yeah, that's a Shacker. He's a great guy. He lives down in Dallas.
Go Shackers.
He does not have a Tesla yet. He has a Spark, I believe. But he wants a Tesla really badly. And he posted yesterday. He has a Cybertruck pre-order, but he and his wife went to the store in, I think, Dallas yesterday, and his wife really wants a Model X now.
Ooh.
So while we're on the subject of space, Adam, you linked this to me. Actually, we didn't really introduce ourselves, so that's kind of bad. Should we introduce ourselves?
It's episode 11. They know who we are.
I don't know about that.
I'm Tony from Tesla Fudge.
Yeah, you're at Tesla Fudge on the social medias, and then Adam, you're at long_Elon on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm at Techno Sucks, and yeah, we're Shacknews, CEO and chief of Shacknews. Okay, back to the general news. Sorry, it's early or late, depending on where we are.
Yeah, so I listened to this space show podcast. I listened to the whole thing. It was actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed Dr. Robert Zubrin, and people were calling in and asking questions.
This was probably the craziest thing when we were just talking yesterday about it. You said that the Starship cost target is only $5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's super cheap. Yeah, so Zubrin met with Elon and saw like the progress because he's the head of the Mars Society. I think he's an advocate for putting
Space
people
travel
on Mars. Yeah. He used to work for NASA. Yeah, so this was some of the news that came out of that. If you want to listen to it, it's pretty cool though.
So they have 300 employees, and they're probably going to have 3,000 in a year.
Yeah, like building starships.
Wow. Yeah. They're aiming to build 2 starships a week. The first 5 starships will probably stay on Mars forever.
Wow.
Zubrin pointed out that it would require 6 to 10 football fields of solar panels to refuel a single starship. Elon said, "Fine, that's what we will do." Elon wants to use solar energy, not nuclear. I don't understand what this point is. It's not Apollo.
Not
it's
Apollo.
D-Day.
It's D-Day because Elon wants to send tons of people. So he doesn't want it to be like an Apollo mission where you send a few people.
Oh, okay.
And they come back.
This is a mission, you
got to send a lot. So if you don't get a few back, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. The first crew might be 20 to 50 people.
Just kidding. That was just a joke. That sounded terrible.
Yeah.
After I said it.
Zubrin thinks Starship is optimized for colonization, not exploration. That makes sense. It's not going to be a spacefaring vehicle.
He was saying it might be too big to land directly on the moon.
Yeah.
He was saying that because if it would land on the moon, it would blow a huge amount of space. I mean, moon dust.
Yeah, it would it would affect the mass
the moon.
Yeah. It could affect the mass
and it might make a big. They don't know how deep the dirt is on the moon, but it might make a huge crater and not be able to land.
It does not want to make
a problem on Mars.
He doesn't want to make a mini vehicle. He just wants to do 2. He doesn't want to do 2 vehicles. He just wants to focus on mass producing the one. Zubrin thinks landing on the moon is pretty. Yeah, you mentioned that.
No, so this part was kind of wrong, I guess, because Elon tweeted about it.
The heat shields.
It does need a heat shield on one side to re-enter Earth, I think. Yeah. But not very big one.
Currently, no evidence of super heavy production. Elon is concerned about planetary protection roadblocks. Was that?
Maybe saying humans shouldn't go, or because they might send bacteria or something to Mars, or we might bring back something. And Zubrin was arguing all that was stupid.
Yeah,
there's lots of rock coming from Mars hitting Earth all the time.
We could quote actually Aqua Teen Hunger Force on that. You don't own the moon, so stop acting like you do.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't own space. Don't act like you do.
So that was our SpaceX portion of the show.
Yeah.
We do have.
We're not as big as space nuts as we are Tesla nuts, are we?
No, it's just that I think Tesla's doing cooler things more rapidly right now. We appreciate both companies.
That's not true. They're both equally as.
I disagree. Cool. I think it's more tangible. You don't see a SpaceX vehicle driving around every day. You see a Tesla every day now. It's just one company is one company's publicly traded, the other one isn't. Yeah. So there's one that's constantly being talked about on CNBC and one that isn't.
We should get space internet soon though. That might change things.
Yep. There's
I
a
mean,
launch.
Starlink's really cool. We talked about it last episode.
They delayed the launch. It's supposed to be like today
Tomorrow,
or
right?
something.
Tomorrow,
It got delayed.
10:30.
They had to look at some part. There's an issue.
Talking about another Tesla or another Elon company that isn't Tesla, the Boring Company. Adam happens to be wearing the hat right now.
Yeah, just for this.
So they had a breakthrough.
Of the first of 2 tunnels in Vegas.
This is the one over by the convention center, right?
Yeah.
I did not get a chance to make it over there while this was happening.
Oh,
look at that.
They interview the president of the convention center after this, but we won't have audio, right?
That's right.
But he was talking about how this will probably be expanded like to the rest of the city. Like to
that's gonna be
casinos
rad.
and stuff. It would be rad, right?
I mean, if I could take an underground Model X tube to wherever I need to go, that'd be pretty
cool.
great. Oh
Yeah.
man, look at that go! It's glorious.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. So there's a guy who's like an expert on tunnels on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend he's called, I think it's the Boring Revolution channel or something like that. I talked to him on Twitter a day or two ago. He was quite responsive. If you care about the Boring Company, his is the best channel.
I do care about the Boring Company. But
he was saying it's that was about a month earlier than expected that they broke through.
Wow.
So they're like way ahead of schedule.
Yeah. So let's see. We're still on general news. Let's hit up this one. This is we're approaching our Elon tweets territory, but this is someone came across Elon.
This was at the SpaceX hiring event.
Yeah, SpaceX.
No audio. It's gonna be too hard to.
He said, "Every now and again, I doubt my vibe. So now I am like, that was a mistake."
It's because someone in the crowd.
Yeah, someone in the crowd told him, "Don't doubt your vibe." But that right there is my favorite Elon Musk quote of
He's so awkward and hilarious.
He's like, so now I'm like, that was a mistake.
Are you doubting his vibe, Tony?
Yeah, don't doubt his vibe, Tony.
I'm not doubting his vibe.
It sounds like you're doubting his vibe.
I'm not doubting it.
Hold on a second. Tony, are you doubting your vibe?
A little bit.
Okay, don't.
You can doubt your own, not his.
Yeah, no, no.
We can doubt his vibe.
You don't
I can doubt any vibe I want.
I wouldn't. I would advise against it. While we're on the topic of general news, still John Carmack from id Software fame, and then formerly of Oculus, which is a Facebook company. He donated his number 30 Roadster to the LeMay Auto Museum. It's on
that's
display.
Pretty awesome.
It's pretty rad, right?
Yeah, that's very cool.
Once again, A10 Pilot in the comments, adding me, saying, wow.
I like that.
So shout out to A10 Pilot for bringing this to my attention. It's
just a drag. Car museums are a drag, though. It's just sitting there. It's so sad.
It's like my garage with the Model S.
Yeah, it is. It is exactly the same.
But I walk by it not approvingly.
Did you put any not death trap wheels on it yet? Or since it doesn't go anywhere, you're not going to put wheels on it?
I'm going to put wheels on it once the weather gets better.
Right.
I'm driving the X right now.
Tires, I should say, not wheels. But
yeah, tires. So yeah, that's our general news section. I do have a theory about John Carmack, though. You know, he quit Oculus after his shares vested, I'm sure, to work in the AI space. He went to Dallas. He's focused on AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, he could end up at Tesla. Could see it. It wouldn't surprise me. They need AI people. And it seems like him and Elon get along.
They need better monster closets.
No.
Tesla.
He's not the...
I think he once talked about...
I wouldn't call him a monster closet
SpaceX.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, from Armadillo Airspace. Yeah, there was rumors of him joining SpaceX at one point, too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Elon said he could if he wanted to.
I think that no matter where Carmack goes, he doesn't want to leave Dallas. Like he's going to stay there.
Well, he wants to make a general AI intelligence, right? That's kind of his goal. But he didn't know a lot about AI before he started, so he's kind of experimenting.
I wouldn't say he didn't know about AI. He's like,
well, he's trying to learn a lot.
He created the whole concept of bots and FPS.
Well,
games.
yeah, well, that's very different than.
It's different. They're not. It's not machine learning. It's not computer vision, but it is programming AI.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the kind of guy that you give him 6 months to learn about something, and he becomes.
No, I'm sure he'll be awesome at it. But I was thinking he could probably learn a lot just hanging out, working on Autopilot for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Like there just seems to be like this huge overlap between what he's doing and what Tesla's doing, and there's a ton of brilliant people at Tesla already working at AI.
CarPath, he used to teach machine learning, right?
So I don't know. It just seems like he might be headed to Tesla someday. I wouldn't be surprised. But we're gonna go. We haven't done this segment in a few weeks. I don't remember the last time we did it, honestly. But we're gonna talk about Elon's tweets because he tweets
some good ones.
He really tweeted a lot. So yeah, there's the solar roof installation that's happening, and he's been sharing some pictures of solar roofs. It looks really good.
Still not a lot of them out there, but the ones that are pretty cool looking.
I can tell you that Greg Burke, our video guy over at Shacknews, decided not to get a solar roof. They took too long to get to him with a quote, and it was too expensive. So he's going to wait.
Was it for new construction or for retrofitting his house?
Retrofitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bought a house like 2-3 years ago.
Put solar panels on it?
Yeah, he wanted to put solar panels and have a battery backup because he lives in Ukiah, which is Northern California, and the last 2 years he's been surrounded by fire because of PG&E's incompetence. So he is incentivized. He and his wife Nicole are incentivized to get off the grid, or at least have. They could do
a solar rental. That's like no money down, mega deal.
Yeah, so they're looking into it, but my advice to them was, hey, maybe Bernie wins, you get a tax subsidy, some kind of credit or incentive to put solar on your house. Oh, it looks like the Valve Index follows Elon Musk. I didn't know that. You hear the news? The Valve Index jumped 20% on the announcement of Half-Life Alyx. But I digress.
No, I didn't hear that.
Elon even thinks his tweets are terrible at night. Late night tweets. Sigh. Yeah. What do you have to say about this? What do you think of Elon's late night tweets?
He's right. Some of his tweets are terrible.
I like them because I'm awake for them.
So. Adam, you're pro Elon late night tweets?
Oh, yeah.
Do you jump in and reply and retweet quick enough to get...
I usually do. I do with that Elon laughing. I do
quickly, but he's never responded to anything.
One day Senpai will notice you.
Yeah, I usually try to ask a question.
Yeah.
Like it's something I want answered.
Yeah.
Elon, he's liked the tweet of mine where I just said I believe in it was something about sustainable transport and the goal. And then of course he retweeted my Kazakhstan clip.
Yes.
Famously. That's when I became an influencer. 1.5 million views on that, by the way, Tony.
Really?
Yeah, just saying.
That's a lot of views. When you got 31 million followers, it only...
Yeah.
Is he at 31 million now?
Yeah,
it is. Man, that goes up quickly.
It really does. When your mom finally lets you sit up front on the way to school.
It's really good.
That's a good meme.
I like that one.
I replied with Elon laughing to that. Got 41 easy likes there.
Yeah, 41 likes.
Low-hanging fruit, boys. Here's another tweet. Felt cute, might delete later. Admit nothing, deny everything, CIA.
Make counterclaims. Handwritten.
Yeah. Just... Okay. That was interesting. This was when Bernie Sanders won in New Hampshire. He said, okay, you can have a little emerald. This has been one of my favorite Bernie memes.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
am once again asking for your financial support, is what it really says. But now everyone they're riffing on it. It's been really good.
You've seen him in the black sweatshirt where he's got the gauge earrings in.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite versions of that meme.
And then Adam right here with, is that an endorsement? I give that a like from Shacknews. There you go. You're up to 5 now. Here's another Elon meme with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders explains the ending of Neon Genesis Evangelion, full 8.5 hours.
That's great.
Oh, it's really good. That is Be Still My Beating Heart, says Elon. This was one of my favorites. New emoji. Last one comes with free phone hacks. So he's got Apple, Google. There's all the robot arms. And then there's WhatsApp. Because, Facebook.
Yeah, it's good.
This is another... This is a late night tweet from Elon, right? Guess he's not left-handed. Pornhub Awards first user to reach 1 million videos watched. And yeah, don't look at the comments. Yikes. Giga Texas. Giga all the places, says Adam. I have to agree with that. It looks like people really want a Gigafactory in Texas.
I had 300,000 votes too. Can you imagine doing a poll and getting 300,000 votes on it?
I can tell you the Iowa Democrats don't ever imagine that many people.
They definitely don't.
Yeah. Well, should we discuss why that would make sense or no?
What, using Twitter to vote?
Texas?
No, Giga Texas.
Giga Texas. Well, Texas
Cybertruck.
Texas is really, I don't know. It's favorable to businesses.
Yeah, they could chuck it up easily.
It's also the Saudi Arabia of solar.
Yep.
Wind
and solar.
I know, but it's solar on the roof of a gigafactory.
They could pump out Cybertrucks there.
You could.
That would be like the primary market.
And then you're like, Cybertruck is built in Texas.
Depends what plateau you throw that gigafactory on. But
and you can send stuff down to South America.
Yeah, based on the location, you have a port in Houston, and you're centrally located for the United States. So, I think it makes a lot of sense. I also think that the first Hyperloop should go in Texas. Just connect the Texas Triangle. It's like the most obvious thing ever. If you've ever driven between Houston and Dallas, or Dallas and Austin, or down to San Antonio back to Houston, it's vast nothingness in between those cities. So that'd be easy.
How does Bloodborne stack up against, say, Oregon Trail? And is Bomberman just Lode Runner from a different point of view? Find out on Hardcore Gaming 101's Top Games, where we objectively, definitively, and scientifically rank the games you nominate for our ever-growing list. HG 101's Top Games, twice a week, every week, right here on Greenlit.
Do I have any other Elon tweets? Here's the we got one transition over to we'll transition to Tesla news here. He did tweet this on Valentine's Day, late at night. So this was a good late night tweet, Tony. Tesla Model S estimated really EPA range is now above 390 miles. He kind of said this on the conference call, where he's like, we haven't got these things re-rated.
Yeah.
Oh man, these trends are not good. I would not click on this. How I find the G spot. Man. So yeah, it's pretty awesome that existing cars keep going up in range, and the new cars that are shipping have better range than the people who are buying them even realize.
Yeah, the X got a big boost in range too.
Oh yeah, isn't there that
it's like 350 something, 351 maybe, I forget, 353, but it's good.
Yeah, it's great.
And then there's that I think we left it out. I didn't pull it up, Adam, but MKBHD interviewed Bill Gates.
Oh yeah, I watched that interview.
And he has
I didn't want to watch it. I was gonna say okay, boomer.
He has a Taycan, and he has range anxiety.
He keeps talking about range anxiety. Pretty funny.
It's like you bought the wrong car, dude.
So it's like $150,000. Is that right? For a Taycan?
That's without any options.
And that's 200 miles.
201, and then if you get the other one, it's 193.
190.
And now an $80,000 Model S gets twice the range, basically.
Yeah, half the price, twice the range, basically.
He said a couple nice things about Tesla, but
man, that's a Tesla killer. If I
was just clearly missing the point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
It's just funny.
Like I said on Twitter, he used to use a Zune.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about consumer products.
He has no taste. He has no taste
yeah,
whatsoever.
He has no taste with consumer products.
And the only thing he's ever done is steal other people's ideas.
He's like, I do everything on a Surface tablet. Well, okay, cool. Awesome.
You remember how long they openly developed the tablet PC? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like 10 years of them failing repeatedly at tablet design. And then Steve Jobs was like, here's what I've been working on.
Well, he also wrote The Road Ahead without discussing the internet. This was in like 1995 or 6.
Yeah.
When did The Road Ahead first come out?
That's so true. You should write The Road Ahead.
And it was all about the future, and it never discusses the internet.
Yeah.
And then he had to re-release the book.
Yeah,
and it had like a sticker on the cover that said, now includes the internet.
It's like patch notes for a book.
He missed the boat on that one. So
he missed the most transformational technology that was like rapidly growing at the time.
Yeah, it was happening right
now.
While
he was CEO. He was
still like, dude, we're gonna sell a lot of copies of Office.
It's still not as bad as Steve Ballmer saying that no one will buy an iPhone. That is the worst moment in the history of Microsoft.
Even that's stupid, because even I remember The Road Ahead reading it when it came out, and Bill Gates kept talking about like a wallet-sized computer that would fit in people's pockets, which is the iPhone that Ballmer said no one would buy.
Yeah,
it's hysterical.
Yeah, he talked about video calling too a lot, which is FaceTime.
Yeah.
He taught. I also read that book, and it's
there were video conferencing systems before FaceTime, quite a few.
Yeah, but he was talking about portable phones being able to do that, which is what FaceTime is for Skype.
Yeah, you should. Well, you should watch that interview though, Adam. You should watch it.
Skype.
I didn't want to, because when I was like, wait, I know he used to like Porsches, because he had a 959 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I'm pissed. How does he have so many billions of dollars and doesn't have a Tesla? And he supposedly cares about the environment.
Well, that's what's funny.
And then he gets on that video and he's like, I got range anxiety.
Well, you've also got
driving gas cars, guys.
Does he even drive?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, he's talking about the rest of the human race, not Bill Gates, has range anxiety. It's kind of how he referenced it in the interview. And MKBHD is like he's such a supercar fanboy. He's like, oh yeah, let's talk about the Taycan. Like, I thought you liked Teslas. You should have brought up Tesla. Because here's how you frame it in this interview. You should have said something like, Bill, like, let's say there was this vaccine that was only 50% as effective. Is that the one that you would go buy?
No, 50% is effective, twice as expensive.
It costs twice as much, but it does half as much.
Would you get that one?
Is that the one you'd want, Bill? Like, come on.
If it's in brown, is it in brown? Can I get it in brown like my Zune? You remember the Zune launch colors?
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about this. Now, I like MKBHD quite a bit.
No, I like him too.
He'd say nice things about
But he's not the best interviewer. That's not his forte, I don't think. Like, he's better at unboxing and reviewing stuff, in my opinion. Like, if he's
his reviews are good.
And I do prefer his Apple content over most other people's. I think he is an Apple user, and it's very apparent. But no,
he's also trying to put Bill at ease and get good content out of him. So
I guess
it's cool. We could interview Bill Gates or whatever.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
Yes.
We're not interviewing Bill Gates.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I actually
Bill
want to
Gates
interview.
is kind of an interesting character, though.
If I could pick any tech visionary, like right now, I would love to interview Steve Wozniak, more than basically anyone else in tech right now, because he has an opinion on everything.
Yeah, he does.
You know, like he has an opinion on how Apple's operating, how Tesla's operating, the data privacy practices of all these different companies.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be more interesting than interviewing Bill Gates, because Bill Gates just wants to talk about his foundation, which is cool, but I want to talk to someone about tech and like how to make things better. You know, speaking of tech visionaries or whatever, I was at DICE this week. It's like an award show for video games, and Tim Sweeney gave a keynote where he laid out a laundry list of problems with the tech and video game industries. He described something called the customer adversarial approach, where companies are viewing their user bases as an asset and almost militarizing it against each other and like creating these walled gardens. The idea was, he was talking about cross-platform play, which, you know, Fortnite can do, Rocket League can do. Those are two Epic game properties. The problem with both of them is that you don't have a unified friend list. So he was suggesting like having a kind of revolution similar to what email was at the time, where the @ symbol at whatever domain allowed you to communicate across different platforms, right? He says that video gaming needs that to occur so that you don't have to build a cross-platform friends list for every game, that there would be a cross-platform communication network. So I thought that was a really interesting concept. He got in trouble by a lot of the games press for talking about politics, Tony, which I thought was interesting. He said that companies, I kind of want to hear your takes. Companies should stay out of politics. Individuals within companies should be allowed to say whatever they want. But he said the companies themselves, when it comes to brand messaging, says it doesn't make a lot of sense to be political. So I'm kind of curious what you thought of that. And he used the argument of, I think what really pissed off games journalists is that he used the argument of Chick-fil-A as being dumb. And I was like, yeah, you're going to get in trouble for that, Tim. But his point, I think, was fine, that like, I don't really care if like KFC takes a stand on anything. You know what I mean? But I think it got misconstrued to say that companies shouldn't be political at all. He was just like, he doesn't think I think it makes more sense coming from an individual.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help companies to be political, I don't think. But most of the time. That's probably going to change a lot in the next 2 years, but right now, I don't think it matters that much. It really bothers me that most people that have Twitter accounts in their profile say, "Oh, all thoughts are my own, not my employer," blah blah blah. It's like, you don't have to say that anymore. I don't think anyone's going to misconstrue what you say as whatever corporation you work for's opinion on something.
Well, have you seen my Twitter bio?
Yes, I have seen yours.
I produce media content and say offensive things on behalf of Army of Techno and its subsidiaries. I love Cleveland and my reality distortion field. Yep. CEO of Shacknews. That's the last thing I mentioned. But yeah, I say quite the opposite.
Yes.
And yeah, retweets are not endorsements. Yeah, no shit. We know. It's like, you don't have to.
I know. Everybody has that in their profile. It's like almost universal to have that.
They don't want to get fired, man. They don't want to. They want people to doubt their vibe. So yeah, let's go over to Tesla news.
How many people doubt their vibes on Twitter? I don't think it's that many at this point.
No, people are feeling their vibes. So James Stevenson, who is just I believe a Tesla bull. I don't think he's like I don't think he has like an analyst house or anything that he works at. He shared, this was a projection he had from last year. I believe it was. I think it was November.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at Q1 2020 and also extrapolating out. Well, yeah, here he goes. he's projecting like a loss from operations of like $10 million or something. So it's not like a massive loss is about to occur, but
Yeah.
you know, we're starting to see now that, like, yes, Tesla's still growing rapidly, but we're able to see now seasonality in how their revenue flow is. Q1's weak. It's the weakest quarter of the year for them. It just is. So there's a chance that they will not make money in this upcoming quarter. But he did say that he expects a profit in Q2 and then more profitable quarters after Gigafactory 3 and Model Y have ramped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is that. There's that point, I think, in every Tesla product ramp, right, where they go from 50 a day to 1,000 a day, right? And it costs money to get there. And they're not making money while they're spending that R&D cash. So I do think that Q1, it would make sense for them to lose money. I don't think it matters. Like, I really don't think.
Well, now, especially that they raised capital.
No, even before that.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
They had a lot of cash, and they don't have like debt that's coming due like last year. You know, it's
well, a lot of it's now going to be converted to shares, right? Because the stock's so high.
Yes, so it's like there is a they don't have the debt overhang that they did a year ago. So their viability as a company is not in question. I think that, like, looking at Tesla from a PE perspective is like looking at Amazon 20 years ago from a PE perspective. And yeah, it was expensive 20 years ago, right? On a PE basis. But you look at what happened on the revenue side from the year 2000 to the year 2020 for Amazon. That's the story. Yeah. That was the story that people missed when they looked at it from a price to earnings basis. So that's the same thing going on here. I don't know a company on earth that's growing revenues as fast as Tesla. Granted, last year was a tough year for them to grow because they were still ramping things. And they were coming up against the first real quarter over the first yearly comparison with the Model 3. Because the Model 3 ramp had pretty much been completed by Q4 of 2018.
There was high-end models and stuff.
Exactly. So there was higher margin product was going out the door in Q4 2018 compared to Q4 2019, which is why you didn't see that huge revenue bump. But it's units. And now that, like, Model Y is coming online, there's going to be, in the back half of this year, I think, a lot of revenue growth for Tesla. So Adam was asking me, and people ask me a lot because I tend to have targets on my investments. We're currently above where I thought Tesla could go in my wild bull case. That Adam and I actually created together in 2012. We were like, here's, like, if Tesla, I remember vividly, like, if Tesla could only sell 20,000 cars, right? That's all they needed was to sell 20,000 cars to achieve viability in 2013. And then they did, or 2014.
That was 20,000 Roadsters or Model S's?
S's.
Yeah, Model S.
Yeah, we were like, if they could get to that 20,000 Model S, that's the stock could go. We were like, okay, it could go to like 70 to 200. But then we were like, well, what happens 5-10 years from now? And we're just like, we started just coming up with assumptions for cars and average selling prices of cars, right? And I think one of the numbers we threw out was 500,000. We started doing the math. We looked at the price of sales. We were like, okay, let's discount this. We're like, 500 to 700 a share was our wild bull target. Because remember, we were talking about a company that might sell 20,000 cars in 2012. And we were like, okay, maybe they could sell 500,000 cars in 5 to 10 years. And we were like, admittedly, that's very bullish. But yeah, our target was between 500 and 700 for that. And the stock currently sits at 800. So a lot of analysts right now are rushing to come out with new numbers. I don't work on Wall Street. I don't have anyone over my head telling me I have to do this. I'm still in the stock. I own the stock and I'm up a ton, right? So I myself want to know, where do I think it's going? I think it's going higher, but I'm waiting until battery day to provide a new target, because I think that will explain the revenue trajectory for this company better than any information we've received so far. Because I don't think I could reliably come up with any kind of projections. I could come up with them based on the current capacity that they have, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know when Giga 3 is going to go online. We don't know when Giga 2 is going to be fully functional. It seems like by the middle half of this year. We know that their run rate is going to be 500,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But we don't know what their 2021 run rate is yet. We don't know what their 2022 run rate is going to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with battery. So I'm not going to come up with a target until battery day. So that's going to be like 2 months from now. But I'm not selling before that either. Like I'm going to just hold on to the stock and then come up with a target. I think that people who are quick to say that Tesla is overvalued, they're underestimating the first mover advantage of this company now. And it's, I believe we said
And
it was
Elon pushing him to grow as quickly as possible.
Oh, and then also, like, let's talk about it. There's an Elon Musk premium. He's the smartest CEO.
Yeah.
Like, he should deserve a premium.
Longest tenured auto exec. So many accolades. Space company, brain company.
But I have experience owning companies based on a visionary CEO, and they get to trade at premiums because people love them, you know.
But,
and
like you're saying, like, we don't know what's going to happen, but don't you feel like, I think overcoming the gaffe at the Cybertruck event, like, if at battery day the same thing happens and they show off a new battery and it, like, catches on fire on stage, because that was the equivalent of throwing the ball bearings at the window.
Sure.
It didn't matter. Like, people, like, realized, oh, this is a legit thing. The idea of this is so much smarter than the execution of showing it off on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh, it's not, like, to me, it's not, oh, look at this new battery. It's, how do you get to the point where you can make, I don't know, 1 million cars a year?
Yeah, where you can take up more than 8% of 2% of the world's cars.
Yeah, like, when do you get to 2 million?
You fulfill the need. Yeah, the demand is so high.
That's the problem, is that the idea that there's no demand is wrong. Demand for Cybertruck is through the roof. How do we get to the point where you can even build semis? You know, they're not going to ramp semi this year because they don't have enough battery packs. So I just think that knowing what the plan is for ramping battery capacity is the most important function. To me, it's going to be the number one cash outlay for the company.
Yeah.
Like, and that's going to affect profitability. It's going to affect cash flow. It's going to affect everything, because it affects, having more batteries leads to more cars that you can get out the door. So that's going to help revenue. So it's like, I think it's dubious to provide a target right now based on the information we have. I really do. We don't have enough information to sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, Tesla's going to X. Now, technically, just looking at the chart, sure, you can pontificate on where it could go. Because this short squeeze is still going on. It's delightful. It's just delightful. Every day at 3 p.m., Tony, have you seen it?
I have.
It's hilarious.
I've been
it doesn't matter if the
stock
stock
RONG to quite a few people.
It doesn't even matter if the stock's up or down on the day. 3 p.m. rolls around and someone on Wall Street's like, time to blow out some shorts. And every day, I really think that the brokers also, like, imagine if you're on Wall Street and you hate David Einhorn. What's the best way to ruin his day? Is to just drive up the share price of Tesla. So, like, anyone who got wronged by David Einhorn, I think it's a really good way to have your revenge on him. And you know, Wall Street people are that petty. You know, like, hedge funds are that petty. It's also like, oh, there's like a wounded duck on the side of the road. Like, these Wall Street guys are like,
I'm gonna stomp on it.
That's how they operate. They're ruthless. So yeah, it's been really fun to watch this short squeeze. Wow, who could have seen this coming? Definitely not our podcast.
Definitely not. I'm noticing that you switched to Dunkin' from
Yeah,
Starbucks.
remember what happened?
Because of that tea? Is it still watch?
Yes. Here's the thing. So I was in Vegas. The only option I had was Starbucks, so I went there. But on the way here, oh yeah, I'm Dunkin' also $2.29 versus $2.65.
Yeah.
And the tea bags were intact. So take that, Starbucks. Blooper ass billionaire CEO trying to run for president. How many billionaires can run for president?
A lot. We've learned that a lot can.
Garbage. They're all garbage. Sorry. How many Bloomberg ads do you see in a day, Tony?
I don't see any other ads.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I was
How
watching.
It's not really the question. I don't see the ads for anything else.
So I was watching.
I use YouTube, so I don't.
So I was watching XFL, right? Because I it's football, Saturday, whatever. I saw 3 Bloomberg ads in a row. 3. That was the entire ad break. Was just Bloomberg.
Dude, I'm trying to get through one 18-minute video on YouTube, and I got to watch a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
It's outrageous.
I've never seen a Bloomberg ad.
Well,
you're not the target, obviously.
When I was in Nevada, I saw a Tom Steyer ad, and I was like, what?
They say with age comes wisdom. Well, over here at the Cartridge family, we only have one question. Who are they? Join 3 imperfect dads as they juggle kids, wives, and jobs while indulging in their favorite hobby, playing video games.
The Cartridge Family, a Greenlit Network podcast.
I was like, why? Like, don't you guys do any analytics? Like, haven't you seen how many Bernie Sanders tweets I've sent out or how many Bernie Sanders videos I like? I actually paid for YouTube Premium, Tony, for that reason. I just don't want to see.
What does it cost? I don't even know what it costs.
Oh, it's too much.
$12 a month?
YouTube Premium. This is how bad I am, man.
$9.99 a month? $12 a month? What is it?
This is why he's drinking Dunkin', because he pays for YouTube
12.
Premium.
12.
$12. Yeah, I guessed it right. Okay.
It's 12 a month, but honestly, to not see Michael Bloomberg every few minutes, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's probably worth it.
And the content creators still get money.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I actually prefer it. And I can tell you, since I switched to YouTube Premium, I watch 100% more YouTube. It's my most used app outside of Twitter.
That seems very expensive.
It is.
They don't even make content. It's not like Netflix that's spending billions on television shows.
It's extremely expensive, but if I
buying IP,
if I don't have to watch Michael Bloomberg
licenses,
it's worth it to not have to listen to Michael Bloomberg's bullshit, man. I just can't. And his ads are awful, and his memes are even worse. Like, what kind of douche pays people to make memes?
Donald Trump.
It's just like they're so awful. Like this is how I know we're screwed.
Russian
billionaires
campaigns.
Billionaires paying trolls to create memes to become more relevant in a political election. That's how I know this country is doomed. But anyway, I digress. We have more Tesla news.
Do we?
Yes. So this was Tony, do you want to comment on if this was fun or not?
Yeah, sure. For some reason, when this broke, I happen to be on.
Now we have to say what it is because people don't always watch.
Oh yeah, on the people listening, Tesla remotely disables Autopilot on used Model S after it was sold. This is a report from The Verge and also Jalopnik, I believe.
I think Jalopnik actually broke.
Yeah, they broke the story, and then they updated it.
And then they updated it because it was wrong, I believe.
I think it was
because Jalopnik clearly is motivated by their current ad revenue, which comes exclusively from fossil fuel industry and traditional ice makers.
Well, here you go. Here's the update. Friday, February 7th, the dealership United Trailers reached out to me to add some details and more information about the sale of Tesla and what they knew of its features at the time of sale. I saw the Tesla story blowing up on your website and a few others as well. We are the dealership United Trailers that sold the Tesla to Alec. I bought that vehicle personally and used the full self-drive on it multiple times. It was working fine. One day, a random message popped up saying your autopilot has been upgraded after a software update. Then it disappeared. I figured it was a glitch. I already had an agreement with Alex to purchase the vehicle. He did come and test drive it a few days later. We both agreed that it was a technical difficulty or a bug that would be fixed by the next software update. Since then, Tesla has been of no assistance to him, and I've been doing my best to get him some help. I sell dozens of Teslas a year and sold my father-in-law a Model X P90D with a ludicrous speed package. 60 days after the purchase of the car, Tesla removed his ludicrous speed package. Upon complaints to them, they said he never paid for it. We have video evidence and multiple pictures of the vehicle with it. They've even removed the line under the P90D. I'm still shocked by these acts. So that's the statement from the dealer. I don't know. This is just messy.
Hey, I think the guy ended up getting it back.
He got it back.
But I think I didn't read the stories because I don't really care. But I think what happened is he bought it from like a dealership, and the stuff wasn't supposed to be on the car. I think
it was like not the sale. He said he wanted a particular car, but wanted to save money by having FSD deleted.
Yeah.
If it's added and it's a used car, they just simply will not remove it.
Yeah, so this does happen. And I've also read of the opposite of this happening, where people buy cars and they end up with more features than they paid for.
Yeah.
You remember when there was that in between of do you have FSD versus Autopilot versus enhanced Autopilot versus they kind of split out. So and a lot of people ended up with extra features that they didn't pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard this happening both ways. And I think that Tesla always reserves the right to remove features from the cars.
Yes.
If they feel that something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is much the same as when you buy a salvaged one, it is no longer on the supercharger network because they don't want to risk having cars that have been monkeyed with or modified catch fire and then bring a bunch of bad press because it's going to cost them way more than it would be to just remove the features from salvage titles and other stuff going on in the used sales market. So
I think this is the challenge with cars that have DLC.
Yep.
It's like
it's like
if I bought Gears on my Xbox Live, right? Or I had bought the disc, but I bought the DLC on my Xbox Live account, and then I gave you the disc, you're not going to have the DLC.
Private sales, you get to retain the stuff so far.
Yeah, because
I think usually in third-party dealer sales, you would too. If you sell your car to Tesla, they might remove the functionality, but that doesn't really affect you anymore.
I don't have this problem. I don't sell my car to Tesla. I just keep them.
Yeah, I can. So as a right to repair proponent, I don't like that the feature had been paid for and the features get removed.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, features get added that people didn't pay for. It's totally at Tesla's decision to do this or not do it.
Yeah,
the manufacturer of the vehicle. I think that no matter what problem, if you have a problem, you tweet about it and you make a stink and then it gets fixed. It's like it seems to be.
Well, one problem was people didn't know what cars they were buying if you were not buying it from Tesla, but now they added in the firmware where it at least tells you.
They did, and they've made the used buying experience more detailed. But that's if you're getting it from Tesla. Like this is a private party selling it to another.
No, but like on the firmware, it's
in the UI now.
Yeah, it says what hardware you have.
It's like about this car or something. It's like
I get what you're saying. I'm saying when a private party is listing it for another private party.
Oh yeah, no, it's like not.
There's no standards on what you list. Like if you go look at car listings, you never know if you're going to get.
That's accurate. No, that's just a problem with all used car sales.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
That's why used car salesmen have a bad reputation.
Exactly. And this guy's saying like, oh, this one I didn't actually sell it from the dealer. I actually sold it directly to this customer. It's like, Well, which part of your story is true then? I just don't really.
Well, let's talk about the yin to the yang of that story. Tesla unlocks rear heated seats for Model 3 SR and SR Plus as a paid over-the-air upgrade. So you got DLC for your Model 3.
Yeah.
I thought this was kind of cool.
You pay your $300.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
So does your car have heated seats, Tony, in the back?
Of course.
Tony's does, yeah.
And it also has premium audio.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they should just. I mean, they had been including the heaters and just disabling them in firmware, so why wouldn't you offer this? And $300 seems kind of reasonable.
$300 is insanely reasonable when you look at the cost of that across other car manufacturers.
Oh yeah,
or like the cost of upgrading to the next the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, or to put three back aftermarket heated seats in your car. Like $300 is outrageously cheap.
Yeah,
that's great. It's just interesting to think about the cars driving around with that feature in them, but not enabled. It's pretty.
Well,
I don't know.
I kind of like it if it means Tesla can make more cars more quickly. And maybe they'll figure out what percentage of people are willing to upgrade after the fact, and then maybe they can lower the cost of the other models or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
Like,
that's true. As a shareholder, I really like it. As a car owner and a person that tries to convince people to buy Teslas all the time, I'm like, and you know, on the thing that it's going to have a feature that you have to pay extra for if you want it, but
the standard rate, well, it's better than not having any option.
Oh, I was browsing my
that's true.
I was browsing, this is another tangent. I was browsing my IRA where I own 75 shares of Tesla at $26. And
you're probably laughing.
I'm up 2,900% on them.
It's pretty good.
Which is better than the performance I had in Apple over the same time period. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's
exciting.
It's one of my largest holdings now. Yeah, I hadn't, because we're still in our 30s barely.
Yeah, we're in our 30s, everybody.
Yeah, for a whole year or less. Me, a year. You guys, less.
How dare you?
But yeah, we're not going to touch our retirement accounts anytime soon. But I don't know. I was just happy to see that. I was like, wow, that speaks to investing in good brands and just doing your homework on them and sticking with your thesis. But yeah, it was exciting to see that. I hope that some of our old clients are still in it. Here we go. We got Gigafactory 3 in Shanghai resumes normal operation. This is as of today. And shout out to Tasmanian. They redesigned their website. Looks really good.
Does look good.
I like Vince.
Vincent.
Vincent's doing good stuff over there. And they are quick. They get their stories out the door. So shout out to them. And it seems like definitely they're FUD busters and they're definitely enthusiasts. But yeah, if you haven't, check out Tasmanian and give Vince a follow. His @ is pretty terrible. It's at Vince13031925. Vincent, really?
I'm sure it means something.
I'm sure it means.
He posts a lot of China news.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good news. This was one of the reasons the stock didn't go up in a straight line last week. After its massive run.
I think the stores are still closed.
Yeah, that's
until the 19th, maybe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I read an article that, while I was talking to you about it, Asif, more than half of China's population is under some form of quarantine.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Oh, I know what you do. You lie about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's best for everyone.
That's unlike the Chinese government.
You lie about it.
The Chinese government would never lie. How dare you, sir? You've besmirched the honor of the Chinese Communist government.
A government would also never manufacture memes as propaganda.
Or round up Muslims, separate the men from women, rape the women, and try to reprogram the men. But yeah, let's not talk about the Uyghurs. I bet you know who's probably safe from the coronavirus? The Uyghurs that are in concentration camps, because they're like so far out to the west and not allowed to see their families or anything.
What a silver lining.
I know. That's the good news. Good news for you, Chinese Muslims. You're probably too far away and too sequestered to get the coronavirus.
That's pretty dark.
Sorry. Sorry,
like
folks. It's the facts.
Like the kids in cells in the border.
Yeah. God, how is that even...
Still a thing.
On that topic, Bernie Sanders took the lead in Texas, by the way.
He did. I saw that.
And also, hey, it's time for Elizabeth Warren to drop out of the race. I'm just, to you, to Bay, out there.
Calling it.
It's time. Drop out and endorse Bernie. Enough.
I'm nervous she won't endorse Bernie.
Yeah.
But she better do it.
Back on topic. Sorry.
I hope she does.
I'm just interjecting some politics here every once in a while.
I goaded you. That's understandable.
Tesla passes Apple as number one holding on SoFi as young investors rush into the surging stock. SoFi is a stock and ETF investing platform, and it says they're mostly used by millennials aged 25 to 40.
I thought millennials used Robinhood and Webull, but
apparently SoFi is also another one.
Yes. I guess if CNBC says it, it must be true.
Hey, you know what? This is just a story, Tony. I don't know what you want from me. My point is that Tesla is the new Apple. That was really what I was getting at.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned that before about
I don't know, like 8 years ago.
Yeah, or at least stock price changes. So
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. This was probably the biggest news of the week. Tesla prices its secondary offering at $7.67 a share to raise $2 billion. After saying 2 weeks ago that they didn't need to raise money.
Yep.
Thoughts?
You know, life comes at you fast, to quote insurance commercials.
And
sometimes you change your strategy after you say some words.
Elon bought $10 million worth of it, and Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle, or founder of Oracle, is going to buy $1 million, which is like nothing. That dude's a gajillionaire.
Yeah, it's nothing to him.
He buys islands.
I like that they're just like highlighting that the board's involved.
He's like Bloomberg rich.
Yeah. 2.6 million shares, $2 billion, 4.6 discount to the close, and then the stock closed up on the day. Lead underwriters are going to be Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. They have the option to buy shares in the offering, so that they could then squeeze shorts with those shares.
I bet they end up selling all those.
So ridiculous.
Said that they plan to further they're going to use the proceeds to further strengthen its balance sheet as well as for general corporate purposes.
I hope it's for another gigafactory, but I kind of wonder if it's for the coronavirus.
Yeah, he said it doesn't. At the time, he said it doesn't make sense to raise money. This was on the conference call because we expect to generate cash despite this growth level. At the time, the stock was at 600, 650 a share. What changed more than just the fundamentals? Sentiment has changed, and honestly, the stock went from 650 to 980.
Exactly.
I think he's just managing the stock. New Tesla bull, Jim Cramer, loved the decision. He was just over the moon about this.
And he was acting pretty stoic in the interview, though. I don't know about over the moon.
He was. I don't know. I guess maybe in.
I've seen Jim Cramer over the moon. This looks like.
I should say I watched. I watched Mad Money where he talked about it. So this is the interview he gave from the show floor right as the news broke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about it later that day on Mad Money, and he said that what Elon's doing is managing the stock like a fund manager would. And he's like, the stock is now worth X. I can raise money for Y. I should do this. It wasn't at 650. It didn't make sense, but above 750, sure, maybe it does. And also, like you said, things have changed. The coronavirus effects are more known now than they were. But this does lead me to believe that they're going to lose money in Q1. And this was to take advantage of where the share price is right now.
Yep. It was very smart.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that.
I mean, the stock was up more than the dilution when they announced it. So
Wait,
it was up
Adam,
like.
you mean like every single time they've done a secondary ever?
That's actually true.
That Tesla company is going to have a hard time raising money.
Like, how wrong can you be, Tesla Q? Just how wrong? It's just like one more kick to the nuts for Tesla Q this week. I was like, oh, here's another $2 billion.
They're going to have a hard time raising money.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you, as a shareholder, I've always felt conflicted about these secondaries because we are being diluted, but the viability of the company is on firmer ground every time they do this. And it's just smart. The stock is up from $175 to $800. Why not raise capital here before Bernie Sanders gets elected and the stock market crashes? It makes sense. Not that Tesla would go down on that crash. It seems to really. There were days during this recent run where the market was down and Tesla was up. And it was this like combination of things going on. I think that, let's say you're Tesla Q, right? And you're long GM and you're long Ford and you're long US Steel or whatever, and you're short Tesla. And the Dow Jones is down 500 points. All of your longs are down. You have less margin, right? And then Tesla goes up, so you have less margin. So I think it was a function of margin and margin calls. And that it exacerbated that move. We should can we look at the stock chart? It's cool.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Let's look at the stock chart. I already opened it. I thought I opened it. What the hell? Damn it. Here we go.
Yeah, we should look at the stock chart. We should give prescriptive advice. I'm just kidding.
We'll look at the daily chart.
That's the daily?
This is the daily chart.
There's the daily.
So you have a stock that, we closed that week before our episode, right, at $6.50 and 57 cents. And then Monday, what was it? What was the news? It was Model Y was ahead of schedule. Like all sorts of things were going great. All the upgrades came in from Wall Street.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
And the stock goes up $126. Basically in a straight line, ripping off the face of all shorts. And then everyone's like, surely this has to be the time to sell. Nope. Next day, stock went to $968.99. And at that point, I was like, this is a little bit much. It was like a little too fast, too furious, a little too soon. Huh?
And then it was.
And the stock dropped. And this was the day that all the Tesla Q was like, finally, it is the day that Tesla has.
It's going to go to zero.
It's finally over.
800.
The stock has now. Here's what's really going on. You'll see this is kind of difficult to look at, right? You have an inside day followed by a slightly up day, followed by an inside day, followed by a potential reversal, followed by an outside day, followed by an inside day. You know what this looks like to me? It's an inside week. That's a monster candle, right? You went from 673.52 to 968.99 cents. It's a massive range. Guess what? We traded inside of that range last week. They scared some longs out, right? And then they scared some shorts out, and then they scared some longs out, and they scared some shorts out. Don't use stop orders. Whatever you do not use a stop loss order here. If you do, use a stop loss limit. But know that the brokers know your stop loss, and they're going to blow it out. So if you really believe in this company and you're afraid, maybe buy some put options. That's a good way to hedge your position. I have not done that, by the way. I did I think it was like a week or two ago. It must have been 2 weeks ago. During this monstrosity of a candle, around 3 o'clock, I bought some Tesla calls. I made a couple percent. I made like 10% in like 5 minutes, and I got the hell out of Dodge. But there's a way to day trade this, but there's a reason people were getting chopped up this week in the stock, because that is trading inside of that range. You could look at the monthly. That monthly candle, it seems likely that we're gonna have to trade inside next month. I doubt that we get continuation above 968.99 unless we get some sort of news. That's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. But you do have a setup for next week, and I wanted to highlight this. So a break below 735 a share would be a sell signal, and a break above 819 and 99 cents would be a buy signal. It's entirely possible that we trade inside range again. There's not like there's going to be a whole lot of news around Tesla in the upcoming week, but yeah, if you've held on for any period of time, congratulations. So just look at this. Glorious. But yes, there have been periods of time. I love this. People are like, Tesla's never gone parabolic before, right? You've heard this. Have you heard that?
I have.
What the hell do you call this? What is this then? Oh yeah. What was that? That was the the Model S ramp.
Yes.
The stock went from 34 to 97 in 5 months. Right? So if anyone tells you that Tesla has never gone parabolic.
What's that next one though? Zoom in again. What year was that? It's 2014 to 15.
Yeah, that's just increased. What was that?
S.
Was that increased S sales?
That was still S.
That was still S. So yeah,
They showed off the X, I think.
They did show off the X. But yeah,
it took years to come out.
There's going to be a sell-off, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a rally, and there's a sell-off. And then you had like 3 years of churn before a breakout. And then look again. 3 years of churn, a sell-off, and then a breakout. So it wouldn't surprise me at some point. This is my biggest concern. That because of the battery ramp, that the stock trades in a range for a year. It wouldn't surprise me, especially after this run. But I would remind you that you do have a yearly buy signal still on this stock, and we highlighted it last year. It's a reversal strategy buy signal to the upside, and it's valid for the rest of 2020 as long as the stock stays above 435 and 31 cents. So what you really want to do
above there.
Yeah, right. But what you really want to do is look for times where the stock is up on the year, it's up on the quarter, it's up on the month, it's up on the week. Or sorry, that's 6 days. It's up on the week, it's up on the day. It's not up on the day here. But what that's called is time frame continuity. When you find time frame continuity in Tesla, where it's up on every single time frame at once, buy it, even if you just want to trade it. And there's still time period. There's still going to be times throughout this, whatever period you want to call it, post spike, where time frame continuity will exist, and those are going to present really good trading opportunities. But yeah, it's important to pay attention to the macro trend, and the macro trend is still super effing bullish. So that's the good news. The bad news, I want to talk about this. I know this is not necessarily Tesla related, but it's stock market related. The volatility index is sitting at a pretty low level of 13.68. Considering everything that's going on right now, I think that's underpriced. I think risk is underpriced right now. I think that when you have Microsoft at all-time highs, Apple at all-time highs, you have the $4 trillion companies Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Apple. You have Facebook at all-time highs. It's just time to be cautious. And that means that, let's say you like Tesla, but you don't like the overall market. Maybe this is a good time to buy S&P puts if you think that the stock market might go down on the election news, or if you think that the coronavirus fears are bigger than expected, or maybe you just think flat out that the earnings aren't going to be as good as expected for the overall market. There's a lot of reasons to be cautious right now. So while we are championing the bull move in Tesla, it has sold off $160 from its all-time high. And it's been kind of trading in a range. So we do have that. I'll just remind people one more time, but you do have a range to pay attention to next week. 735 on the downside, 819 and 99 cents on the upside. So those are going to be, that's your risk range. It's entirely possible that we stay inside that range. So there's your stock analysis for the week. Any questions, comments?
That was a nice stock analysis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's bullish.
Chart.
It still looks great. The chart's intact. The trend's intact. You do have just, it's a very talked about stock now. Like it is.
With ARK Invest saying this $4,000 low end and the $22,000 share high end, it's like hard to know what's a good idea. So that was a good.
Yeah, you'll notice when I talk about the chart, I leave fundamentals out of it entirely.
Yep.
It's all about price action. It's about equilibrium breaks. It's about time frame continuity. And then there's also this concept called the broadening formation. Basically that stocks trade in a series of trends or, trend lines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any, because the trend in Tesla is so crazy right now. I don't really have any, but I can show you I'll show you my Apple. There was an Apple one and a Nintendo one. Here, I'll show you the Nintendo chart real quick. So this is basically the concept that you basically take a downtrend, you connect all the lines, and that it's not, the concept is that there are not flat support lines. There are downtrends and there are uptrends, and there are a series of these that occur across time frames. And you can see that stocks are kind of gravitate towards these things. So in this case, the low end on Nintendo, I would say there's support around 36, and the high end on Nintendo, God, it could go to like 100 something. So there is an uptrend in Nintendo. You can see it intact right here. So this would be the broadening formation. That's why it's called that. This strategy is called the Strat. It was taught to me by Rob in the Black over at T3 Live. I highly recommend following him. He's at Rob in the Black on Twitter. And he's been a great teacher and friend of mine for years now. And he taught me this strategy. I think that what I like about this is it's all founded in truth. It's if this happens, then this is happening. It's never pontificating on anything. It's not trying to predict anything. It's just showing you here's what could happen based on whatever data you input.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at moving averages and you're beholden to the 200-day moving average, like it's just a number.
Right.
And like I know Tony, you had mentioned like 750 as support on Tesla. I don't necessarily think that is support. I think that 735 level, though, that's a significant number. If it goes below that, the equilibrium is broken. And we haven't had an inside week in Tesla since December. That's kind of awesome. That's crazy. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks in a row that the stock has gone up. Granted, Tesla only went up 3 pennies last week.
Yeah.
But it still counts. 11 straight weeks. That's pretty crazy.
It doesn't seem like a fad.
No, it's great. This is
Pokemon
sustainable transport, not a fad.
It's a secular growth company with a first mover advantage of epic proportions. And it's a revenue story.
And a software company.
Sure. I mean, it's a tech company. It's a tech company. I think it's a tech company that makes electric vehicles, does other stuff, but I'd say it's a diversified alternative energy tech company. It's probably the best way to describe
Oh, we
it.
didn't talk about the new patent for the energy
the grid.
Yeah, for the grids.
You didn't give me the link. How am I supposed
Sorry,
to
I
know?
forgot about it. That was news I forgot about. I knew there was something else.
Would it be on
Essentially,
electric or
somebody
anything?
discovered a patent that they've got on grid power storage and control.
Tesla grid patent. Tesla clears from Clean Technica.
That sounds right.
Tesla steps into the utility space with a new grid controller patent.
A grid controller.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. One ring to rule them all.
Right. So they've already got the app, that's integrating everything in one place. You just go to your Tesla app and you got your Powerwall and your panel usage and your home usage and your car usage. It's just an extension of that.
That's cool.
And there's hardware, but it's really software. That's what it's about. It's the software. So pretty cool.
Kind of going back to the capital raise real quick. I remember the early days, I guess we can call it that now, of the Model S.
The early days.
Where, Adam, we would frequently talk about, like, man, imagine, like, Tesla if they had, like, Apple's balance sheet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We've gotten to the point now where they can just go to the market and raise $2 billion. So I don't think that's the constraint anymore. It's about how they spend their money, figuring out how to spend their money intelligently. But yeah, that, like, those days
They've been really good at that,
especially in the last year.
Yeah.
Especially in that last quarter, I think that it showed the year-over-year numbers, despite the lower margin vehicles, being able to achieve profitability just through cost cutting. Yeah, that's not something you can do every year, though. So it's something that revenues have to grow for this company to justify its current value.
Yeah, but I mean, their ability to build new factories on the cheap seems proven.
Yeah. It's proven in China. It's proven in Carson City. I would not say it's proven in Germany yet.
Well, yeah, but the concept. Under a year to build a factory and have it producing is pretty.
I'm just not sure they're going to be able to do that in Germany. Too much red tape.
Or really anywhere outside of China.
Yeah.
In under a year.
But.
Yeah, but the product of the China factory could just be pooped out again in Germany. I mean, it'll be slower, but
I don't know. You're right. The process can be repeated, but the bureaucracy and the red tape that occurs, or that you have to deal with in Germany, and then I think if they do go to Texas, it would go up pretty fast. Texas does not have many constraints when it comes to that stuff, but it is still the U.S., so there's like FDA or whatever, not FDA, but there's like EPA stuff.
EPA,
yeah.
Well, I read an article. One of the heads of the EPA is like a guy who brought a snowball in to Congress to show that there's no global warming.
The new one, yeah.
So don't worry about the EPA too much.
I wouldn't. That's all we had on the docket.
Oh, good.
That's
I can sleep.
Episode 11 on the books.
Adam can go to bed. What the hell?
Sarah was sad she couldn't join us this week, but she'll be on next week.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the show.
We had no takers on the contest last week. I was very unhappy that no one wanted to find the model of that camera for me, so I had to find it on my own. So no giveaway.
Maybe your questions are just too hard.
No giveaway this
Tony.
week.
Why don't you just God, there's a way to do this so easily that you just won't do. You go, hey kids, reply to the chatty thread and I'll randomly select someone when it expires. And they're like, okay, blah, blah, lol, lol, lol. And then you get comments, you hit the random select button. A Shacker created an API for us to randomly select winners from chatty threads.
I'm going to have you show me that.
Ta-da, it's over. It's so easy.
Yeah, I would like some props for being in the chatty every day
Yeah,
Since
you
he
actually
complained
you actually
that your
read my
staff
first
was not
post
in the
yesterday.
chatty.
You read my first post on Friday. I was so happy. And then you commented on my
I've been
comment.
commenting. I've been LOLing.
Yeah, you're using the lol script.
WTFing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony, he messages me. He goes, what does inf and unf mean?
Don't out me on the podcast. What
And
are
I
you
was
doing?
like, inf is informative. No, this is important for people who don't know the chatty. We have a tagging system that gamifies engagement. Lol, inf, unf, what is it? Wow, and aw for mainly Lola pictures. Oh yeah, tag, WTF, wow, aw. Yeah, head on down to the lol page. All sorts of good stuff there. You can look at your own user stats. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a
Let's see
bunch.
the last time Tony tagged me. I don't think you've tagged me very often. You're not very high up on my fan club list.
I don't ever tag you. I don't even know how to do that.
I don't mean like at me or anything, but like here. We'll look at the lols page real quick.
You're gonna have to teach me.
See, my number one fan is Deject. He has lulled me
Oh.
1,474 times.
It just sounds like a kiss ass to me. That's what.
No, he just thinks I'm hilarious. Times user has lulled. I've lulled 24,523 times.
That's outrageous.
My posts have been lulled 9,969 times.
What are you gonna do when you break 100,000 lols? 100,000? 10,000 lols.
You gotta have a party.
Gotta have a giveaway.
And then total number of lulls is 51,792. I'm the biggest fan of Mad Dog Delphi 97. I don't know if you've ever seen his threads. He posts a GIF thread on Friday. That's really funny. It's all the animated GIFs. Anyway, check out the lol page. And shout out to Tom W for helping us integrate.
I like that.
Yep. We gamified it. Oh, did you see Twitter stole our threading system?
No?
The way that Chatty threads comments? Yeah, they stole it. In cold blood.
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah.
They're a smart bunch over there. Constantly innovating.
Figuring out how to run pre-roll ads for promoted posts still. Good work, Jack. And then Jack, didn't Jack ask Elon how to fix Twitter this week? Wasn't that another thing that happened?
Again? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap up the show. Go to shacknews.com. This podcast will go live at 5 p.m. if you're lucky on Monday.
Yep.
An article on Shack News. It'll be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ShackNewsGames. We'll post on social about it at Shack News on Twitter, or Shack News on Facebook, or Shack News on Byte. Tony's on Byte at Tesla Fudge. I'm on Byte at Army of Techno. Our Twitter handles, just to remind you folks, I'm at Techno Sucks. Tony and Sarah are at Tesla Fudge on Instagram, on Byte, and on Twitter. And then Adam, you're on Twitter at @long_Elon. And give the Valve Index a follow while you're at it. If you want to see,
follow Tesla Fudge because we're like 17 followers from 420. So
Oh,
come on.
420.
I have 247 followers, but I haven't been attempting to get followers in a while. It's just slowly ticking up.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You need
have my shout outs been helping you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, I plan on doing one today. I either call it Signal Boost Saturday or Signal Boost Sunday.
Do it.
But I will do one today. Again. I will send my clout your way. But yeah, it's been good. I think people like our show. They've been watching it. This is episode 11. It'll also be on the podcast facilities. So Apple Podcasts, Google Play.
Did you ever check the stats? Because we had an argument 2 weeks ago about if the all politics episode had more listens than episode 10 or not.
Hold on. I can do that real quick.
You gotta know. Inquiring minds.
925 Elon. Okay, so let's see.
Come on, episode 10.
So we're comparing episode 9 to episode 10, right?
Yes.
Episode 9 had 138 views. Episode 10 86.
Dang it.
Bernie wins.
Bernie did win. Surprise.
He actually won Iowa too. So yeah, go to BernieSanders.com and join the movement. Don't vote for Elizabeth Warren.
This is the Elon
Don't
podcast.
vote for Elizabeth Warren. Don't vote for Pete Buttigieg unless you like mayonnaise sandwiches.
Wow.
Sorry.
Is that how you pronounce his name? I've never heard it.
Yeah, Buttigieg.
That's the most Japanese thing I've ever heard.
What? I
Is that
don't.
how you say Buttigieg? I've never heard it before.
I mean, I just read. I don't watch anything, so I don't know how it's pronounced.
Funny.
But yeah,
I liked your post the other day about it.
Fine. I won't endorse Bernie Sanders and his awesome Green New Deal on our alternative energy podcast. I'll go stump for some jaboofer politician who's paid for by the fossil fuel industry and has the healthcare industry in their back pocket. That's who I want to vote for. Not anyone who believes in Medicare for all, the Green New Deal, debt forgiveness for college students, and free education. None of that sounds good. Paying teachers $60,000 a year, $15 minimum wage. All that's horrible. All of it's too radical.
I want more tax breaks for the rich.
Yeah, let's get more tax breaks for the rich. Ugh. Okay.
That's what I want.
So there you go. Right at the end of the podcast.
We're headed.
That's where you get. November 3rd, election day, vote. And yeah, we have analytics that prove that people don't care if we talk about politics on this. I think that people who care about alternative energy tend to be more politically motivated.
I think you're right.
Because there is an overlap. There are people in this country who don't believe in climate change that run the country. That has to stop. So wake up, America. Do not vote for these status quo jaboofers, or I will go door to door and punch you in the nuts on November.
You just became the podcast that says "Wake up, America." That's fantastic.
That's good.
It's a quote from Dennis Kucinich. I don't know if you saw that speech.
Sure
it was
here's
a little Army of Techno history, Tony, because Army of Techno just celebrated our 18th anniversary this weekend.
Really?
Wake Up America.
You're legal.
Yeah, Wake Up America. Yeah, you guys can all seduce Army of Techno now. Wake Up America was downloaded more than any other song because it was the only way in China for people to hear Dennis Kucinich's speech from the Democratic Convention.
Wow. They weren't blocked by the firewall?
No, Army of Techno is not blocked by the firewall in China. So we were the only way to hear a political speech. And the way that they did it, so this Chinese website labeled us as Miley Cyrus. I can't make this up. It was so funny.
Did you have a Miley Cyrus post and that's why it happened? Or
no, they called it Miley Cyrus Wake Up America, but it was Army of Techno Wake Up America, and it was Dennis Kucinich.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so there is a Chinese resistance out there. So when we talk negatively about China, we're talking about the government. There's people out there who are probably great people that are being oppressed. So that's not what we're talking about. Like what's going on in Hong Kong, what's going on in Western China. But anyway, there's your Army of Techno news. Shout out to them. That's it. That's
Great.
our show. It'll be up at 5. That's it. Adam should go to bed. I already did our social media things. It's everything, right?
It's everything.
Okay. I'm going to stop recording if I can figure this out. See ya. Say bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.